Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back, and today we're looking at some transfer rumours. Yes, football's calmed down a little bit now, hasn't it? A few league games have returned, and whilst protests are still going to continue, bear in mind there's one on Sunday ahead of the Manchester United-Liverpool game at Old Trafford. So if you can, be there, show out against the Glazers and against the current ownership structures in England. Can we lobby for change with the government? And obviously that continues, but we have been able to have a little bit of normalism return to football. Is that even a word? I think it's a word. You know what I mean anyway. And that means transfer rumours are all over the gaff. So I want to get into a few of those, have a little bit of a debate about them. You can get your thoughts in the comments below as always. And yeah, make sure you're keeping it locked. Subscribe. Obviously not long since we hit 100,000 subscribers. Can we keep it going? We're on around 103k I think at the moment. Get subscribing. Let's see how long it is, or how quick we can hit the next milestone, which we'll set at 125, quarter of the way. So come on, help me hit 125. Get subscribing. Anyway, let's get stuck in. First up, Rafael Varane. Now, I'm a massive fan of Rafael Varane. There's some bars here. And I think he's an elite centre-half. He's obviously done it all for Real Madrid. Won countless Champions League titles. Still got his peak years ahead of him when you look at his age. Obviously done it for France as well, winning World Cups, being a key part of that team. Rafael Varane is one of the best centre-halves around in the world. And he's been linked with Manchester United continuously, even before he went to Real Madrid. I remember him being linked with us. He's gone to Real Madrid, continues to be linked with us. But this time around it does feel a little bit more realistic because of the fact that his contract expires next summer. And you keep getting these hints that he wants a fresh start, he wants a new challenge, which wouldn't be surprising given the success he's had at Real Madrid, especially if they go on and win the Champions League again this year. Although, would you want to leave a club where you keep winning the Champions League? Obviously, he may fancy a challenge in the Premier League. And we're hearing stories that Rafael Varane is edging closer to a Real Madrid exit after telling friends his time is over at the club, and it's put Manchester United and Chelsea on red alert. Now, I've heard Manchester United more often than not linked with him. Obviously other clubs will be linked with him as well. How much you get him for with a year on his contract, you're probably still looking at 60-70 million pounds. But with his age, with his best years ahead of him, you'd expect, I don't think he'd really struggle to adapt to the Premier League. You'd consider him one of the premium signings you could make at centre half. Now, Eric Bailly's just signed a new deal. We know Lindelof's going nowhere. Harry Maguire's going to be first choice club captain. He's always available, rarely injured, and we've seen the performances he's been putting in recently. Now that makes you think, are we going to spend that much on a centre half? Especially when you need to sign a right winger, you need to sign a midfielder. What happens if Pogba leaves, etc. Are we going to spend that much on a centre half? But Lindelof hasn't always been reliable. Bailly, the same can be said. And Tuanzebe, we know his issues. Mengi, it's too early, probably going to go on loan again. So maybe it is realistic. Now, if we are in for a centre half, I'd rather see us go 60-70 million on Rafael Varane and get a supreme quality defender. But we've also got to bear in mind that he could turn around and sign a new deal like Sergio Ramos did, and it may be a ploy for more money. But Real Madrid are broke boys at the moment, as we've seen the European Super League exposing just how much they need that money, more so than the English clubs who were happy to just pull out quickly once they saw their fans weren't on it. Now, we know the Super League will rear its ugly head again, and that's why we need to keep protesting. But Real Madrid haven't got great finances, and Rafael Varane's one of those players that maybe they could shift on for a bit of money, especially if he's not going to sign a deal. Now, we've also got a French World Cup winner who's got 1 year left on his contract, and the worry would be to try and ask for some sort of swap. Now, you'd like to hope United could fend that off, manage to get Varane in, but again, I know swap deals rarely happen, but it could be one that makes sense if Pogba is still insistent on leaving. But the way you look at his social media activity, and I know you shouldn't read too much into that, you look at the way he's been speaking about the club, Ali, etc., you start to think he's probably as likely to sign a deal as he is to leave. So I'm all for Rafael Varane, but I'd like it if that didn't include Pogba. Next up, one of the best strikers in the world, arguably the best striker in the world. He was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. I'd say Harry Kane's the best striker in the world, personally, pound for pound, but Robert Lewandowski is there or above him, you know what I mean? And he's been linked with a move to Manchester United, but I can't see this one because, look, they're not going to let him go for cheap. You're looking again 60, 70, 80 million pounds. 32, 33 years old. Now, we'll be looking at it later. Cavani may be leaving, and you do need to bring in a striker. But I genuinely can't see that happening. I genuinely can't see that happening. City, maybe, but even then, no. I can't see Manchester United buying Robert Lewandowski. I genuinely can, and I suppose let's leave it there. We also hear Man City might have handed Man United a boost in the efforts to sign a dream striker. And this is in the MEN, the once formerly great Manchester Evening News. And they're obviously hinting at Harry Kane coming to Manchester United. City beating Spurs in the League Cup final means he hasn't got a medal, makes his appetite for medals stronger. You can see where they're going with this one. Now, I think he's as likely to go to City as he is to go to Manchester United. And I think he's as likely to stay at Spurs, if not more likely to stay at Spurs, than either of those things. He's going to cost a lot of money, rightly so. As we were mentioning earlier, you know, I think the best striker in the world, top two defo. It's going to cost at least 100, 120, 150 million, there or thereabouts. You're looking in that ballpark. United aren't going to spend that on a striker unless it's Erling Haaland, you'd think. I can't see us spending that on a striker anyway, especially when you look at where else we have to spend. But you consider Harry Kane pushes you closer, if not helps you win the league, you know what I mean? I just can't see it though. I just can't see it. The wages that would come into that. Now, if you lose Pogba, you free up a lot of your wage bill, and you probably get a decent fee. But even then, you're not going to get you're going to get what, 50, 60, 70 million? If you're lucky, the money you paid for him back, you're not going to get much for Pogba with a year left on his deal in the coronavirus market. That's why I think he's going to sign. And that's why I think Harry Kane's going to stay at Spurs, because no one's going to bid the type of money that will see him leave Spurs. Now, he could force that move. But who's going to... PSG? I don't know where he goes. And that's incredible because he's the best striker in the world, but we've got to come into this realisation that the pandemic's going to have a huge impact on teams' budgets. Harry Kane, the age is at, the injuries is at. Is anyone going to want to spend that type? And I'm not saying there's a risk there, not for Man United. If it comes to United, it's scoring goals for fun. But you know what I mean? Like, they're going to look at those things. Daniel Levy isn't going to take a cheap bid. So you may see that just become a stalemate and he stays unless he forces a move. But I can't see that again, because he would have done that by now, surely. Surely he would have done that by now. Let us know what you like. Think, where will Harry Kane end up next season? I think there's a big possibility he's still at Spurs. I think he'd go to City before United in terms of, you know, he goes there, he's winning the... it's just game, set and match for everybody probably. But yeah, I can't see it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Someone that's probably not going to be seen at Old Trafford next season by Manchester United fans, which is disappointing because I would have loved to see him in action in the stadium, is Edinson Cavani. And we hear United are losing the battle to keep him as the striker wants a return to South America. And you can't blame him with the age he's at. You know, he's achieved what he wants to in his career. You know, you can see why he wants to get closer to home. But there's talk that Oli has told the club to offer him a contract. Maybe that's to try and sway him into making a decision. I think that would also hint at Oli's probably not super confident in getting Erling Haaland or Harry Kane because he's trying to keep Edinson Cavani. Erling Haaland probably doesn't leave Dortmund this summer as well. So you can see why the short-term stopgap option could be there in Edinson Cavani. And if we do sign a striker this summer, if Cavani leaves, it probably will be a short-term option or a cheaper option, while we look to spend a bigger fee maybe on someone like Erling Haaland. Even though, again, I hate to hit you with some like just be skeptical about everything. I don't think we're getting Erling Haaland either. Just can't see it. But maybe we do Raiola some favours with Pogba and we get a favour with him. That's how the game works, and we've seen it before. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. Keep it locked to AdamMcKola TV. You lot have all been absolute legends for watching. Hit that like button, get your comments down there. And for now, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.